Not a whole lot here, but we're gonna eke out what we can. We'll talk about these right in front of us here in a few minutes. Um, Ash tree bolete, and we do happen to have a an ash tree right there. Um, I did a video on these not too long ago. We have some chicken in the woods. It's up in the tree right here, so we'll talk a little bit about that. But welcome to Beyond Fungi, and my name's Ross, and we do a little roaming with Roscoe here on the show. So we'll see, we'll see what we got to do to entertain you. But how's it going? Um, we'll do what we can just to talk about anything and everything. It is really dry out here, so this will be our first video in September of 2025. So anyway, let's see what we can talk about and enjoy a little bit of our fun here while we're talking about mushrooms. So here we go. I brought some along because we did a hike this morning, and we found a few things this morning that were pretty cool. These ones in particular were pretty awesome right here. So look at that. Amanita muscaria, variety of Gesawai, and they can be orange and yellow. And this is what they come out of, and that's where all the decoration comes from up on the caps here. But we had a friend suggest to us that this could actually be called Christablema. Christablema. Not sure. Well, we did find a couple of parasols in a really strange spot, so I'm not sure if they're the Procera or not. But a little look at that, and you can see some of the scabrium on the stalk here. Can't really see the gill attachment all that well, but it is a pretty cool mushroom, and they can get really big too. Did find one of these today, fairly recent, pheasant back. So I'm not quite sure. It seems like they're making a comeback. So anyway, here it is in September, and we found a bunch of stuff. Oh, this was pretty cool though. We found some brick caps today, I believe, and we ended up shining the black light on the thing. And hyphalomas are known for uh, picking up some of these black light things here, but probably not in the daylight. But that was pretty neat. And then we found this hydnellum. Really pretty neat. Look at that thing though, a tooth fungus. And I wasn't quite sure what to make of it, but it's probably the velvet cap here. But the one that we did, the other one that we did find was had a really long stem. So stipe if you want to be particular. But that's what we found on our hike this morning, along with a lot of other things. We found a lot of clitosope today. So it seems to be clitosope season, and that's something you have to watch out for with your pets for sure. And we found the one out in the woods called the fairy funnel, which people mistake for I don't know what, but but look at that. We found this Ganoderma a couple weeks ago, and look at the varnishing on this Ganoderma right here. But this one I believe is called the Curtsii, so I'm not really too sure that they grew around here. We have another Ganoderma species here, varnish cap. I wonder why. um, Anyhow, we also have this guy right here. We found last week. Dime Maker's polypore, and you could probably find them still in this condition. We've been finding a lot of them out in the woods, but brought this one, and you can see that they like pine. So anyway, also had a puffball. I just put a puffball video out, a purple spored puffball, and it made me think, like, you know, that's something close to it, but it's not. But if you can picture that this actually had this this covering here, like a ball over the top of it. But yeah, the amanitas are very cool, and very enlarged base on that guy. So we're going to do a little more. I mean, we'll find exactly what the variant is, I hope. But yeah, a lot more tighter warding on some of these. But Really, really cool, and I'm hoping we run into a lot more of those, just for the picture. And anyway, there's some Beyond Fungi swag here, but let's take a little walk, because we did mention at the beginning here that we had a couple things just right in front of us here, and one of them being the chicken of the woods up here. And I did do a video on these fellas, and it looks like we got the sun right in our face on this one. But on a cherry tree, so we'll have to see. I was a little late on picking them, but let's take a look at these, because these are really cool looking. Seems to be a lot of these out this year, and I have 2 patches of these in the yard. So, and look at, they can get pretty far away, but look at the color on this one. And then they get parasitized by this mold right here, like a lot of boletes do. So I believe that's still the Christosperma. But let's take a look. These things are really lobed, so take a look, because they got a really cool pore pattern right here. Yeah, that's really cool. But see how they're kind of lobed, and like a pseuilus, you know, because you could make an argument that, well, close to being a pseuilus, but it is not. It's got a more of a velvety, drier cap, and you can see how they're always kind of misshapen. But the very unique thing about these guys here is that they grow on ash tree roots, and here's one right here. I mean, it's, you can see it's seen its better days, but there's a bunch of them, and I know that you know, you can find them pretty far away from where they are, but they're kind of interdependent with a aphid that lives on these tree roots. So wherever you got some tree roots on these guys from an ash tree, there's a good chance you might have these guys popping up, especially this time of year. But yeah, we saw 2 patches of these. So let's go take a look at what else we can find in the lawn. But we will find out that a lot of the bolete type of mushrooms get parasitized by this mold, and it goes through some changes. Doesn't make it any better, that's for sure. But got some really cool mossy area here, so we'll take a look. A lot of times we find the really tiny ones in this area here. So, but let's see what we got here, because this one bugs me. I saw it coming out again, and this one really gets me, because it comes out like an oyster, and then it's got these really rusty spores. But I don't know, and it comes out in cold weather too. So on what I would say is the silver maple, maybe. But anyhow, it's a perplexing one. I'll have a video coming up on that, not too long a feature here, because we had a debate on what it could possibly be, and you know, everybody that was looking was saying oyster, and it wasn't. unless they start sporing out rusty spore bins. Oh yeah, look at this here. We got these puffball mushrooms, and we were just talking about the purple spore puffball, because I did put a video out. But yeah, look at these guys, and you know, with the Latin, we got the scleroderma, which means hard skin, and the Ororante, which is kind of orangish. But let's take a look at this guy. Oh yeah, look at that. That's what we're looking for right there. You can see that, huh? Wow. So there it is, the pigskin puffball. And you definitely don't want to, you know, when they're that color, you definitely don't want to eat those. These are not known to be edible anyway, but there is some talk that if you get rid of the skin, you might be in okay shape. But anyway, most puffballs are pretty good unless they're really discolored. We have something else over here, which looks like it's a tuberia. and a bunch of these, but I think it is the felted tuberia. Oh, that's a pretty cool one right there. Look at how look at that shape of that thing. So I'm not quite too sure what to make of that one, but just to kind of make it appear like something, I was calling it that, and I'm not really too sure. We have a couple of those inside that we're going to try to take a better look at. And speaking of tuberia, I know that we saw one here. This one I'm not too sure of, actually. I really don't know. Because I thought this was, I still don't know if it is, though. But we did find the tuberia here at one point, and it looked like this here. And we were calling them the scurfy twiglet. And I don't think that, no, I don't really think that that's a scurfy twiglet. It could still be maybe in the tuberia family. Or neither one of them could be. That's the thing about these little guys, huh? But very interesting. And just want to see if there's anything over here, because a lot of times we get stuff along the rock wall. Oh, nice. We do have something along the rock wall. Take a look. All right. What do we got? What do we got there? Oh, look at that. These are the scaber stalks. I already had a video out on those. The Lessenum scabrum. They're the birch scaber stalk, and well, it makes me think that that's its friend right there. So that's what I'm guessing. But pretty neat. They don't quite look like what we normally would expect to see, but you can see the scabbering on the stalk, thus the name. Yeah, I mean, that's why you don't want to be afraid of the Latin, right? Because it's going to tell you a little bit about the mushroom right off the bat. Sometimes you can even reverse engineer it, you know. Like, oh, I got this purple bolete, and you're just like, oh yeah. But anyways, it's always an adventure to see mushrooms and try to identify them, because it's not as easy as you think. I know you don't think so anyway. Yeah, no. But anyway, it comes with repetition, and so if you've heard me say a couple of these things before, well, consider it repetition. But we like to do a little roaming with Roscoe and finding stuff that we don't know what it is. And I have a video coming up on these here, and they're getting towards the end of their lifespan. I have a video on these guys here. Foliota has a decorated mushroom, and there's actually a cultivated version of this. But take a look, because they have a rusty spore print, and you can't really see it quite that much, but anyway, they're a beautiful mushroom when they came out. They're gorgeous, and I do have a video coming out on that one. So let's see what else we can find, because I always love to talk about the birch trees and the birch tree state. And if nothing else, you know, if you're really jonesing to find some mushrooms, then you can always look at the birch tree. There's always all kinds of stuff to see on there. Let's go over here, because I don't even know what I'm looking at here. Oh, look at that. That's probably a horsehoof fungus, but I don't know. We'll wait to see. But sometimes they can take strange shapes, but the ones we're looking at right here are called the Fomitopsis betulina. Betulina meaning birch. So that's where we're finding them. And you know, you can too, and this is a great one. You guys want to start into your mushroom career? Always a great one. We talk about this one quite often, because the let's see, the Iceman had those on, and that's what we talk about all the time. That one and this one over here. Yeah, this one right here. And what do we call that one? Also fungus, but that one's Fomentarius fomae. A good example of it. But again, like if you're really jonesing, look at all the stuff we find on birch trees. Well, it's cool. Although, you know, if that's all you're finding, not so cool. My love of birch trees didn't last very long when I was younger. I'm like, damn it. But we love chaga. We love chaga. It's always very cool. We have one in these woods here. We're kind of on the hunt this weekend for beefsteak fungus. So if you guys know about the fistulina, I like to call it the fistulina hepatica because I feel like it's a better name than Americana, and it doesn't matter if you call it beefsteak mushroom. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what you consider the name. So, but we are looking for that, and let's see what we can see here because I know that we had a chaga that was pretty close to here. If you guys don't know chaga, personally, it is a type of parasitic fungus that actually tries to protect the tree until it actually doesn't. But I'm not quite too sure where it was. But we have one right near here, so if I run across it, we're gonna talk about it because there's not a lot more in the woods. We're kind of resigning ourselves to finding you know, just shelf fungus and tree mushrooms, stuff like that, because of the embedded moisture. But we will take a look around and hopefully we find a couple of cool things. It would be great if usually we have an overabundance of the short-footed russula in these areas, but I haven't seen them. I don't know where the heck those have been. But we say that because we were talking about the lobster mushroom a little bit earlier, and we would love to find some lobster mushrooms, and we have found some in this area, but they were actually the greenish ones, which are a little bit more rare, I believe. But let's just take a walk through here. It's a little late for black trumpets. Like I say, the beefsteak is what we're looking in these, what we're searching for on some of these oaks here. So let's see what we can see. But not a lot. Usually these woods are lit up with all kinds of color, and we find a lot of mushrooms out here. Not so much. I'm going to go over and take a look at a couple of these oak trees, only because it's end of the wood season, and I don't know if people have been finding them. It really doesn't seem like there's a lot out here. So we'll find out, because like I say, the end of the woods depend on the moisture in the tree, and it is that season right now. So we might have to just do, I typically wouldn't go out just looking for a mushroom, but if I was, I'd probably go find that. Have some coral fungus still here. These were the triple crown coral funguses, and not much to show there. We also talk about this, Floriciboria arguescens. Turns the wood green, and if you can find it in good shape, it's actually great for woodworking. Very cool looking wood. But we're going to end up over here on the lawn again, and we'll see what we can see. Well, he's looking for something. Always seems to be something, you know. I mean, we say we always can go back to the birch tree, but over here we're in the land of oaks. That's where we're kind of looking. I don't even see any sign of mushrooms here, and we do have honey mushrooms, and the parasitic, the thing they parasitize, the entoloma, in these woods. Hoping we'll get a chance to do that on one of our hikes here, because I don't see any of that either. But again, I have been talking about how dry this place has been, inches down on the actual rain. So the greatest mushroom season, but we try to keep you entertained. Just not a lot here. But all right, let's get back out to the grass and we'll take a look. And I think the moss would be a good spot this time of year too. But we did find a few things. We had a couple different things. There's chicken of the woods over there. So and it just goes to show you, I mean, it doesn't always just grow on your regular oak or maple. It was on that cherry tree, a native cherry. That's a big oak. All right. So if you guys have any questions, comments, or anything that you'd like to talk about, in a few minutes we'll stop and we'll talk to you about those kind of things. Or you can get a hold of me somehow. I'm always accessible. So yeah, not a lot out here. Not a lot. All right. So yeah, but most of the time we talk about how sometimes a good mushroom hike, even without mushrooms, can be a great time. Still a great walk. But we had a couple things to talk about at the beginning, which is kind of nice, and we're gonna see what we can do to find some more. But I wanted to take you on a little hike here. What do we got? What do we got there? Look at that. I believe. Yeah. Look at that. It is shrimp of the woods. I know. What are you gonna do with that, right? But it's starting. It's starting. We got the shrimp of the woods popping out here still. It's moist enough on this side of the lawn. Good to know. And I'd rather find them, like that, where they're not all creased up and filled full of dirt. So maybe we'll get a good crop of them out here on the lawn. A couple of the Indian pipes. So we'll take a look, because we know that there's rustlers in sight. There's something in the Russulaceae family. And we usually do find them in this area. So a symbiotic relationship with plant, mushroom, and tree. A plant with no chlorophyll. That's why it's, look at that. Just doing its thing. I'm just stealing nutrients. Don't mind me. Can't see me. But let's take a look, because a lot of times we have rustlers in here. Here's another bolete, and this one, another one. Look at it, it's being parasitized by this hypomyces. And first it turns white, then it turns gold, and then it turns a mush. But look at that. It happens quite often, and I mention it a lot, that sometimes that's how we find our boletes, is that we see a bunch of them that are contaminated, and it brings us in. But out in your lawn, it's a great spot to find all different types of mushrooms. We find almost every variety right near these woods here. But look at that! Almost every one of these has been parasitized by a mold. But anyhow, I thought we were gonna run into a rustler over in that area, or something else. I mean, I thought we had a couple more mushrooms here. Apparently not. I'm taking a look down the line here, and see. And don't forget to look up this time of year too, because this time of year we have to be on the lookout for lion's mane. And lion's mane is almost always just out of reach. It's almost always just um, right there where you can't get it. So I do bring a line, a weighted line in my pack, and I haven't had a chance to use it yet because I haven't found anything. But hopefully that ends up working. But all right, kind of back to where we started. We have some more ash tree boletes here, and look at how funny they are. Um, but we'll go back and take one more look at a couple of mushrooms that we found on our walk earlier this morning. So we don't quite disappoint. but yeah. Um, anyhow, before I mowed the lawn, I wanted to make sure we took a look and saw everything that we were going to see here. But these we were calling the Hypholoma lateratum, although I've just never, the brick cap, but these are just beautiful. I've just never seen them that good. And then our Amanita muscaria versions here, probably a variety that we might have to talk about. But very distinctive, and that's what it looks like. That's why people, be careful with puffballs, because puffballs can sometimes look like puffballs when they're actually amanitas. And if you get the wrong one, you're definitely going to be in trouble. But look at the pore structure on that one. But this one was weird because it seems out of season, but we also had this strange netting to the point where I almost thought that this was a black-footed polypore. But I'm pretty sure that that's pheasant back. And then we had this guy here, a velvet tooth. Look at that. Tooth fungus are pretty cool. But anyway, guys, let's wrap it up here, and we'll conclude this session of roaming with Roscoe around the yard. And look at these. Look how small these things are, huh? Like crazy. We found more of these things this year than I think any year. So, but you never know unless you're looking, right? And I say that to people all the time. Once you start seeing mushrooms, well, you're going to start seeing them just about everywhere. But we'll try to fill up a half hour of your day here just talking about fungus. And hoping that we get to talk a little bit more about that, because we are short on moisture here. So, but anyway, that looks like what we're gonna see for today. And there's my chicken in the woods that we were just a day too late on that. So, but anyway, if anybody has any questions or comments, you're welcome to express that to me, and we can talk about that. But if not, and you've seen anything on here, you can get a hold of me and say, hey, what's with that? We got Virginia creepers here, and we got some bittersweet. The bittersweet's actually really cool until you have it in your yard. That's not, and it ruins the woods. But look at this. Speaking of fungus, like, what do you think? What do you think of that? A lot of stuff like that that's around that when we don't have mushrooms, we'll take a look at stuff like that and wonder, like, what the heck. But anyway, that's what we're looking at today, guys. So I appreciate you spending time with me and taking a walk around in another episode of Roaming with Roscoe in the books. So we'll see you next time, hoping for a little bit of color and fun in the woods. But you never know what we're going to find, right? I'll take you on a walk maybe tomorrow. Who knows? But find stuff and stay curious. Have a great day, and enjoy the journey. We'll see you next time. Thanks for coming along. Appreciate it.